Hello guys, Day6 here back with another What If and welcome back to the channel. If you're not subscribed, make sure to do so and turn on all post notifications so you're aware of every single time that I post another video. And subscribe if you haven't already. Anyways guys, just a little heads up / reminder. This video has gore, violence, death, and fear in it. So you've been warned if you any of you guys are like sensitive to that type of content. It's nothing like too bad, but there are people out there, so just in case you're one of those people. Anyways, the like goal for this video is 350. But I'll still make another part if this video gets to 310 likes. Anyways, let's get into the what if. Alright, so there's one change that I'm going to make. Liz's name will now be Rizu because of the fact that Rizu is the Japanese version of Liz. So yeah, and here's a brief recap of the previous part, which is part 1, if you haven't already seen it. Kakashi's body would launch into the air, but then Rizu would jump up with her sword, coming down at Kakashi. Kakashi, thinking fast, would use her Rasengan at the last minute, pouring every last ounce of chakra into the attack. Rizu would then be sent flying into the air, soaring across the skies, as her body then made a giant crater, landing in a building and dying. Kakashi would slowly watch as the life faded from her eyes, and poof, her body then disappeared. When it disappeared, Kakashi, in awe, would look around in shock when he felt a sharp blade touch his back. Rizu would then tell Kakashi that he's lost. But to her surprise, Kakashi had a kunai pointed at her back. Kakashi would then tell Rizu that she has passed the bell test. Also, if any of you guys wondering where Sakura went, yeah, basically, I don't think any of you guys were wondering. But, Sakura gave up on her pursuit, I guess, of becoming a ninja, a kunoichi. So yeah, Sakura doesn't matter. Anyways, Team 7 would go on to complete many missions, eventually getting to the point that it just got very boring. This boredom would cause them to ask Kakashi for a better, more suitable mission for their talent, if you will. And then Kakashi would go to Hiruzen, who would see this as okay because of the fact that he thinks that their team is very prepared and skilled, in the eyes of battle. The next day, Team 7 would go on a mission to escort the bridge builder, Tazuna. And on their way, Team 7 would encounter a puddle, but wouldn't think much of it. Then, the Demon Brothers would appear, and Kakashi would fake his death. Rizu, noticeably angry at the death of her master, would whip out her katana, powering chakra into it and slicing the Demon Brothers in half, killing them. Kakashi would then reveal to everyone that he didn't actually in fact die, causing Rizu to get a little bit angry, but that was about it. Eventually, Team 7 would get to the bridge, and now the Haku / Zabuza fight shall commence. Haku, by taking a glance at Rizu, would be able to tell that she shows promise and could actually be a threat, so she would trap Sasuke and Naruto in the ice mirrors, leaving Rizu outside. Rizu would then take Tazuna back to his home. When she got back, Rizu would see Sasuke and Naruto in danger, so she would use all of her might to break into the ice mirrors. A small space in the mirrors would loosen up, but then it would start to close at a very fast rate. At the last second, Rizu would jump through it, getting in. Haku would then throw Senbon towards Naruto, but Sasuke would move in the way. Rizu would then get rid of the Senbon with her katana before jumping on top of Sasuke's head and launching herself towards Haku. While in the air, Haku and Rizu would engage in hand-to-hand combat. Rizu would try to kick Haku, but she would dodge. That's when Rizu would realize how fast Haku truly was, but she would match just barely. Haku would then go his fastest, stabbing Rizu with a poison-covered kunai. Rizu would start to fall down as Naruto and Sasuke would try to catch her, but they were too late. Sasuke, at the loss of his teammate, would clench his fist, unlocking his free Tomo Sharingan. Nine Tails chakra would start to leak out of Naruto. The tails that formed would start to go up in number, and the Naruto that stood in his very place, was very unrecognizable from before, as more fox-like features appeared. Within mere seconds that tears left Sasuke's eyes, Naruto would launch himself at Haku with a five-tail cloak, something that was extremely taxing on his body. Naruto would then come at Haku, slashing his chest. Blood would drip from Haku, but Naruto wasn't done. He was just getting started. Naruto would then dig his fingers into Haku's eyes, gouging it out and crushing it in his hands. Haku would try to zoom away, but somehow with the Kyuubi's chakra, Naruto proved to be much faster than Haku's speed. Haku would then be stopped by Naruto as he then wrapped his arms and legs around him. The scorching heat of the nine-tailed fox's chakra would burn throughout Haku, causing tremendous pain. Naruto would then punch Haku to the floor before charging up a tail beast bomb in the air. When it launched, fragments of Haku's flesh and bone would rip apart, being completely decimated by the attack. Haku, on his last moments of life, would reflect and think about all of his life choices and how they led him to this very moment. Naruto would then start to prepare yet another tail beast bomb, as it would then launch. Haku would then say goodbye to Zabuza, knowing that he couldn't hear him, but he would do it anyways. But then, as he was on the brink of death, a cloaked man with the illuminated eyes of the Sharingan and a robe with red clouds on it would appear before the attack, repelling it with his sword. As the attack was being blocked, the light of the tail beast bomb would shine on the man's face, revealing black hair and black eyes similar to Sasuke's. Naruto would then chase after the man, going at full speed and almost touching him, but then he would revert back to normal, as the man would then tighten the seal. The man would then move in a blue blur that looks a lot similar to a body flicker. In that instance, Naruto knew that it was Shisui. Naruto, though exhausted and burnt, would stand up, grabbing Sasuke and going as fast as he can using body flicker and trailing Shisui. Eventually, Sasuke and Naruto would get to the Akatsuki hideout. The two would then shoot two fireballs to illuminate the dark cave. Shisui would then decide that he'll deal with Naruto and Sasuke, shooting a fireball right back at them. Naruto and Sasuke would then fall back, landing onto the ground. Shisui would walk out of the cave, ripping off his clothes and his robe. His body was covered head to toe in scratches from an accident days ago, which was caused by a fight with Matatabi, the Two Tails. Shisui would then pull out two swords, pointing them both at Naruto and Sasuke. Shisui would then tell the two that they must leave or they shall die, inching the swords closer and closer to their faces. A flock of crows would then fly out of the cave. It was Itachi. Itachi would then walk out. Shisui would then pick up Naruto and Sasuke with one hand each, throwing them away and walking back into the cave with Itachi. That day, Naruto and Sasuke learned that they are going to have to get a lot more stronger if they have a chance at taking Itachi and Shisui down. Naruto, while walking back to the bridge, would pass out, being carried the rest of the way by Sasuke. Haku went against Kakashi with Zabuza, though he was still killed by Kakashi and had died from many other factors like blood loss and a fatal injury, as well as having his body infected by bacteria. Also, Zabuza was killed by Kakashi by the Chidori as well. When they got back, Gato and his men were there to collect their bounty. The bodies as well of Haku and Zabuza. Kakashi, with essentially no chakra, wouldn't be able to do anything. And also, Sasuke was very tired of the fact that he had his Sharingan, or because of the fact that he had his Sharingan out for hours, he was very tired. Gato and his men would then start to pick up Haku and Zabuza. But then, out of nowhere, they would be stopped by a back to full power Rizu. Rizu would then blitz all of them before slicing off Gato's head and dragging her team all the way back to the Leaf Village on her own. Once nearing the Leaf, Rizu would stop, seeing someone approach her. The woman to Rizu's eyes, would then tell Rizu to hand over Sasuke. Rizu, wanting to protect her and her team, would then jump up, doing a spin kick and slamming the person to the ground. Then the person would then reveal themselves as Orochimaru. Rizu would then be overwhelmed by the sheer amount of bloodlust emanating off of Orochimaru, not being able to move. Orochimaru would then pick up Sasuke before speeding away in a quick flash. After Rizu would carry Kakashi and Naruto back into the leaf before taking them to the hospital and telling the third Hokage what had happened. The next day, when everyone was in full health and back in full spirits, a search party would be formed in order to help find Sasuke. This group consisted of Naruto, Rizu, Kakashi, 2 medical ninja, and a special jonin. This team would soon track Sasuke's footprints, which dragged against the ground. These footprints would eventually lead to Orochimaru's hideout. Then, the team would walk in. Once they got deeper and deeper into the cave, the hideout, actually, they would see a room with many ninja within test tubes. These ninja would immediately be familiar to Kakashi. They were his former Anbu squad mates. Kakashi would then hear the noise of a snake, knowing that it must be Orochimaru. Kakashi would then activate his Sharingan, using Chidori and running into the shadows. Luckily, the Chidori illuminated the darkness, making Kakashi see Orochimaru. Kakashi would then pierce Orochimaru with his Chidori before calling on the rest of his team to help out. Rizu, Naruto, and Sasuke would all pour their chakra into a combination Rasengan attack, which was mainly maintained by Naruto. But this attack was very overwhelming and huge. Kakashi would then rip his hand out of Orochimaru before jumping back. Then, the attack would collide into Orochimaru's body, causing great damage and sending him flying. Kakashi would then jump up, hitting many kunai and shuriken at Orochimaru, with all of them hitting him. Orochimaru would then be sent flying, crashing into a wall. Orochimaru would then cough up blood, being visibly injured. Kakashi would hear the yells of Sasuke rushing to his position and kicking a Kabuto who was standing over him. Kakashi would then grab Sasuke, pulling him and putting him on his back as he started to run away with his team. Then Orochimaru would pull out a device, setting it off and causing the whole entire hideout to start to blow up and collapse. Soon, debris would start to fall, and it was very deadly. A pile of bricks was about to fall into Naruto, but Rizu would slice it all into bits and pieces. As they were walking, Kakashi's arm would be struck by a rock, causing him to drop Sasuke. Rizu would then catch him, throwing him out of the hideout and sacrificing her life for Sasuke's. Rizu would then be overcome by the debris, falling over and going unconscious before telling her team goodbye. The 2 medical ninjas and the special jonin would start to walk back to the leaf, knowing that they may get upset since they've already seen things like that and they witness things like that every day on the battlefield. Naruto and Sasuke being flooded with all kinds of emotions at the same time would cause them to try and lift up all of the rubble, but it would barely budge. Not a single rock would fall. Kakashi would then pat Naruto and Sasuke on their heads as they cried. Kakashi would start to remember Rin and how Rizu reminded him of her. Kakashi would then reactivate and reawaken his Mangekyo from this traumatic event and this sort of mental wound reopening in his heart. Eventually, as the sun started to set, Team 7 would come to the realization that Rizu died, causing them to make a gravestone on top of the hill of debris. Naruto would then reach into his pocket, taking out a kunai and placing it on her grave. Team 7 would then walk back to the leaf, never forgetting this very day. The next morning, Team 7 would be granted special permission to only have 2 people on their team. Team 7 would be okay with this, knowing that no one could really replace Rizu. The rocks that covered Orochimaru's hideout would then be disrupted by Pain. Pain was there in order to see if there were any survivors and to see if Orochimaru was still alive under the rubble, and if he was, Pain would recruit him to the Akatsuki. Pain would then use an almighty push to blow out all of the rocks. Orochimaru would then see the bodies of Rizu, or Pain would then see the bodies of Rizu, Orochimaru, and Kabuto. Pain would try to check for a pulse on all of them, and Rizu was the only one who had a faint pulse, though Pain could tell that if she didn't get medical attention soon, she would die. Pain would then use lightning chakra to bring her back to life, and surprisingly, it worked. Rizu's eyes would slowly open as her ears ringed. She would look at Pain, asking him who he was. Pain would tell Rizu that he is Pain, a divine god who has revived her from the dead. Rizu would look around, asking Pain where she was and where her team was. Pain would tell Rizu that her team abandoned her, and that if he didn't find her, then she would be dead. Soon, Pain would recruit Rizu to the Akatsuki in order to hunt and capture the 9 Biju. Rizu would then shield her previous members' memories of her team away, focusing on her new bond with her teammate Hakame. Akame was a former Jonin from Konohagakure, but soon was recruited to the Akatsuki because of her skill and because she always thought that her talent and potential was being wasted and not being used. Also, she's also from like a bunch of other clans with good Kekkei Genkai, so they saw it as a good fit. Anyways, Rizu also looked up to Akame like an older sister, and Akame felt the same way about Rizu, thinking of her as a little sister. Anyways, guys, this has been Darius' X. What if Shisui raised Naruto? I hope you guys enjoyed this one. Don't forget a 350 like goal for like a part in like maybe 2 days, one day. But like eventually, if you want a part eventually, like in like 2 days, in like 5 hours, then you're gonna have to get to a 310 like goal. But anyways, guys, make sure to join the Discord, subscribe to me if you haven't already, and turn on all post notifications so you're aware of every single time that I post another video. And thank you for stopping by. I appreciate it. If you guys haven't already been informed, just know that the disease, not trying to get demonetized, but just make sure to stay clean and like wash your hands. And anyways, guys, stay healthy. Darius X, I was here, and now I'm not.